This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Hello, my kitty-loving friends. It's Linda Hall with 19 Cats and Counting. We have some really important topics to discuss today. We have an amazing lady who has a pet groomer and a boarding, and she's doing a lot for the animals. She's also got some volunteer stuff, and she's kind of opened our eyes to the lack of diversity. We need to talk about this. We'll be right back.
Take a bite out of your competition. Advertise your business with an ad in Pet Life Radio podcasts and radio shows. There is no other pet-related media that is as large and reaches more pet parents and pet lovers than Pet Life Radio. With over 7 million monthly listeners, Pet Life Radio podcasts are available on all major podcast platforms, and our live radio stream goes out to over 250 million subscribers on iHeartRadio, Odyssey, TuneIn, Stitcher, and other streaming apps. For more information on how you can advertise on the #1 pet podcast and radio network, visit PetLifeRadio.com/advertise today.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back to 19 Cats and Counting. I am your co-host, Linda Hall, here with my BFF, Rita Reimers. How you doing, baby?
It's Monday morning. What can I say?
I know, right? Nobody has anything.
Well, it's really not morning, but it is for me.
Yeah, we're kind of slow movers.
I know. I can't wait to talk to our guest, Linda. Tell us more about it.
100%. Well, we're going to bring her in and let her tell us because, honey, she does so much. I'd take up the 30 minutes just telling you what Lashonda does.
Oh, right.
Lashonda, welcome.
Hi. Hello, ladies. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
Oh, we're so happy to have you.
Thank you for being here. So,
absolutely.
My first peek into you was you discussing about the lack of diversity. So I really want to touch on that, but then we got so much. We have to talk fast. So, I had to stop and think. Rita had a cats only pet sitting business for 17 and a half years. And I was with her the last 4 or 5 years. And we went through hundreds of sitters. And I think 3 of them.
It felt like hundreds. It probably wasn't.
It felt like thousands, but no, I tried to be. And, but as we discussed it, because I'm like, think of everybody you can think of. But as we discussed it, I don't think we ever turned away anyone of color. I don't think anyone that applied to us of color was bad. So why were we not getting the applications? Why is the pet business supposed to be a white thing?
Yeah. It's a very raw topic,
I bet.
It makes people a little squeamish because when you really think about it, you're like, you know what? You're right. But there is a lack of diversity in the pet industry as a whole. Less than 4% of the demographic are of African American, Black, brown, or those identify as being African American or Black, in the pet industry. Just about 2% of veterinarians are of color.
That's sad.
Yeah. And I mean, as a whole, with being groomers, trainers, veterinarians, even in the animal caretaking space with, charity work and, things like that. Yeah. It's a very low number.
That's a true statement. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's such a, how do you say, it's kind of hard to put into words, but there's so many issues surrounding that. There's so many stigmas surrounding that topic.
Right.
There's so many elements to it. It's like, it's the onion conversation because you can go layers and layers. Because honestly, in the beginning of dogs, I'm going to say dogs, for example, right? Yes. Dogs were used as a weapon against us,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they were used as a weapon. They were used to intimidate us. Slave owners used their dogs to kind of keep us in submission. And, the civil rights movement, dogs were used as weapons.
That's horrible.
then it was like a issue of fears, like, stay away from that dog, or animals were used for a purpose. They were used to help hunting. They were used for just different things. And the evolution of our relationship has grown tremendously over the years. And it's so beautiful that now we're in this shared space. So now with my organization that I created, Black Pet Business Network, I'm really just shining light and opening the door for the topic, for us to have those real raw conversations of inclusion. The best analogy that I've heard about diversity and inclusion is being invited to a party and then asked to dance. So, we are, we're welcomed, but then sometimes we aren't hired. Sometimes we don't have the same opportunity. There's so many layers to it. And it's not even all necessarily a negative aspect. It's just, even for myself, I grew up in a family where I wasn't allowed to have any dogs. I wasn't allowed to have any pets. I didn't have any pets growing up.
That old fear still was prevalent in your family, right?
Well, I would say not necessarily the fear, but the responsibility of, we are a middle-class family, and having a dog or having a cat is another mouth to feed.
Right.
True.
It's just, my mother and my father, they've had dogs growing up, but they were working dogs. They were actually working. They had a purpose. They weren't necessarily, they were a companion, but they had a job.
They had a job. Yeah.
Had a job. So they were real working dogs.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it's just that whole evolution, and that their no actually was fuel to my fire. I just threw myself into learning everything I could learn about animals, dogs, cats, exotics. I was such a nerd, and it was odd because here I am, a little Black girl, and I was like, all I want to do is just be around dogs and learn about dogs. And my family, I was a black sheep. Not gonna lie, I was a black sheep.
I prefer to think of that as a pot stirrer. You're like challenging the tradition, right?
Yeah, challenging the norm, and I still push the envelope. And even with that, it's just like I've been open and in my quest to find out why and how, and what can we do to change for all of the questions that I was looking for answers. I literally created platforms, and I've paved ways for even myself. I'm a professional groomer. My business is called the Paw Shop, and we're located in Orlando, Florida. I am the only brick and mortar Black owned pet salon in my area.
Wow.
So just me.
Do you handle dogs and cats? You handle cats too?
Yes, I do. I do. I am a cat groomer.
That's hard to find. That's hard to find.
It is.
Big difference. Do you find that Black business owners then tend to draw in Black clientele, and that the Caucasians are staying away? Or are they seeing good? Okay. I'm very glad to hear that.
That's good.
They're so open, and it's so much of, even in areas where I thought I wasn't intimidated, I was kind of nervous,
Right.
Yeah.
But I've been open and received with so much love. Honestly, the good outweigh the bad.
That's great.
I still get looks and stares sometimes, and they're like, you know what you're doing? I'm like, I've been doing this for the past 15 years, of course.
I have to read you. So while you were blowing my mind with all this, because I told you before we started, and I should tell our listeners, Rita and I were both raised with diversity, and we just don't think anything about it, right?
Yeah, I grew up in an area of Buffalo, New York when I was a kid that was very diverse. So
yeah, me too. Carleton High School. Where are my people? And, it was very diverse, and I had friends, and it was just, they're just all my friends. And so all of a sudden, probably within the last 10, actually probably George Floyd started it, where I'm waking up realizing I am not as there as I thought I was, that there's a lot going on that I didn't know about, the conversations that Black people lead with their children, and just all of this, that I was sitting there going, I thought I was really there, and I'm there.
It's a culture shock, because everything happened leading up to then I mean, it really opened everybody's eyes. And in the pet community, I know that we've all been taken back where we're kind of like, don't forget about us over here.
Yeah.
In the industry, because you have to think too. Now it's gotten better. You will see it. But even the representation in advertising and marketing to pet families, it's always been white families. If you look back at, like, I don't want to say any names because I know you guys are really popular, so I don't want to name drop. But
It's okay. It's okay.
Don't worry about it.
Major companies, even with pet food and
Sure.
Just supplies, like they've always targeted or they've always shown in their how they market. There's never adversity.
That's true. I'm thinking about the commercials right now. Going,
can you see the smoke coming out of my ears as I'm running through every commercial I can imagine? No, you're right. And
I only knew 2 companies that were owned by people of color when I owned Just for Cats Pet Sitting. And one of them didn't make it. And the other one's thriving because she and her best friend, who happens to be white, partner together. So I have to wonder if it was just her. If it would be as successful. And that's a sad thing to wonder.
Yeah. And that really boils down to the person. I never judge a book by its cover. I have a dear friend in the plaza where my business is, and he owned a ice cream shop. And he actually opened 2 stores. He actually kind of grew too fast, but
I know that story.
Kept closing stores, and it was just not necessarily a color thing. It was just, and it wasn't just a male or female because he was a man-run business. It just boils down to the person. It's like me. I'm extremely motivated and I'm goal-oriented,
Yes. Driven.
Yeah, I'm very driven. And I think the setup to be an entrepreneur, like you've got to have it. You cannot be easily, hurt. Like,
right.
You gotta have it in. And I think sometimes, people just don't know how to manage it. And it's not even a matter of the success of a business, whether it's white or black. It's just down to the person.
Definitely.
Always what you think it is. And it's a lot that
that's
people
a
don't
true
know.
Statement.
Sacrifices that you have to make. I'm married. I've been married for 13 years. I have 3 beautiful children.
Oh.
My son has autism.
Oh.
I have my salon. I've nonprofit organizations.
You are busy, girl.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you sleep? I don't see the bags under your eyes. I'm looking very closely. I don't see.
It's just a lot of concealer, but it's
right. Me
but
too.
It really boils down to the person. And I've been really driven, and I've been motivated by my faith, by my family, my community. They drive me to continue to do what I do. And I always tell people, especially people of color, like, you can do it when it comes to the industry. And there aren't a lot of tools. There aren't a lot of resources for us. My network, I've created opportunities where we're building scholarship programs for those wanting to enter into the pet industry. Where, if it's a student who wants to go to vet school or want to get their certifications to be a dog trainer or for whatever it is.
Yeah.
Continuing education, I wanted to provide resources so that they can go and they can do that and they can reach those goals. With my network also, we're working on small business grants where people of color in the pet industry, we can give them the tangible resources that they need to build the businesses that they need to build so they can thrive. Because sometimes it is a lack of knowledge. Right. The saying is, you don't know what you don't know.
Yes.
With my network, I've made it my mission, and it's my heart's desire to put that in front of them, because there will be no more excuses. I'm big at going to trade shows. We've been having the conversation of, you never see enough of us at trade shows. You never see a whole lot of Black people here, there, and there. And I'm like, okay, I'm going. You want to go? I'm
good.
So that we can start putting the action behind it. Right. Because we are out there. I mean, even with the Black equestrians, and even to my ignorance, I didn't know that there was such a big community for the Black equestrians. And even in the Black cowboys, the Black cowgirls of America, I
didn't know that existed.
I didn't either.
Oh my God. Yeah. You guys got to go check it out.
We will.
I like Showcase. I have interviews and just conversation of how we've got started in our journeys. You know, we even have tough conversations on my platform. We had a conversation in regards to the stigmas around African Americans and pet ownerships. And it was just to really like poke the bear and get everybody's attention. But it was topic, Black people don't take care of their dogs because it's stigma. It's a stigma like, oh,
that's a horrible statement to make.
It is a horrible statement, but you know who refreshed my memory to that? It is he is a champion dog show breeder. And I was talking to him and I was like, what are some of the things that you face or that you have faced as a breeder? And he breeds and he shows, you know, Portuguese water dogs. And he said early on, it was hard getting access to a good dog. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, some breeders wouldn't sell me a puppy because they thought that I wouldn't take care of it because I'm Black. I was like, really? You know, and it's those, you know, it
shouldn't be that way.
Yeah, for all of the different industries and all the different sectors in the pet industry as a whole, people of color, we face something different. I think it's so important to have that conversation and to just talk about it at this point. Talk about it. Let's clear the air. Healing has already started. You know, the meeting has already started. Let's start doing more. Let's support Black-owned businesses. I'm like, we've got some amazing businesses.
I'm sure
that are Black-owned. Like they make treats, organic treats for dogs and cats, clothes, just all different kind of merchandise. Amazing doctors and holistic doctors. Amazing talent in grooming and training. It's beyond my wildest imagination that some of the people that I've encountered. So like, I get so excited, you know, when I just do searches. I just search. I just go, I look, I ask questions. I talk to wonderful people like you ladies who, you know, who actually want to continue the conversation and actually invite us to dance. You know,
there was a time I looked at our staff at Just for Cats and I said, Linda, what's wrong with our staff? And she looked at it and she said, we're all white.
Is whiter than white. It was shiny white.
We're all female. We're all white.
Yeah. And it's okay to acknowledge that because we won't see a change until we realize that there's a problem. And then we purposely open ourselves up for, you know, including people that are not like us, you know, that are Black, that are brown, that are Asian.
Now, we got excited when someone would apply that was
yes.
African American or Asian. We're like, we're excited.
Even the Native Americans. There's so much that the pet industry has to offer. There is something for everyone. If you are cat lover or if you love geckos, if you love frogs, like there's something for everyone. And I think the industry has been unfortunately so whitewashed that, you know, we're just dying, like, and we're screaming like, hey, we're here.
Right.
Include us in your marketing, include us in your advertising. Even the way that they would fashion, I'm going to say, for example, cat collars, right? The fashion and the designs of cat collars or, you know, toys or treats, the way that they're packaging now, you know, manufacturers and the designers are opening up because they realize that they have to appeal to a larger demographic.
Definitely.
They have to appeal to men. I don't know if you guys have heard of Ava's Pet Palace. I love her. She's 14 years old.
Write that down, Linda.
I am.
Yeah,
you know?
Pet Palace. She's a national brand. She's in a lot of the major stores and a lot of small boutiques in all of the states. She's 14.
This 14.
She's 14.
Wow. We're looking to
love it.
We're looking to start a line, actually. So we could probably learn a lot from her.
Yeah, we could. Yeah.
What I hate is we have to take a quick
Let's
break.
take a break.
But we'll be right back right after a word from our awesome sponsor.
Molly, here's your dinner. Zeus, that's not your food.
Don't let that happen to your precious cat. Elevate your cat's eating experience with the Cat Tree Tray. The Cat Tree Tray keeps your cat's food off the floor and conveniently located on the cat tree. It's the perfect way to eat. It's a beautiful wrought iron tray that easily attaches to your cat tree and keeps dogs and other critters out of your cat's dish. A must for multi-pet households. There's a 6-inch tray for large bowls and a 4-inch tray for smaller bowls. Purchase your cat tree tray today. Go right now to cattreetray.com. That's cattreetray.com. CATTREETRAY.com.
Let's talk pets
Let's talk pets
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
And we're back with 19 Cats and Counting. We're talking with Lashonda Geffrard. Am I saying your last name right?
Yeah, that's about right.
It's about right. She's gonna let us go. She's easy going.
And we're talking about diversity in the pet industry.
Yeah.
You know, a couple things you said really hit me. Like one was you talking about what dogs were used for so many years for the African American community. And, you know, I think a lot of what we do is generational, right? And when we think of that prissy, rich white chick, she's got some poodle with the diamond collar, right? Wearing stuff I can't afford. But Black people, you know, if your great grandparent had this experience, they're not going to have pets, which means your grandparents weren't raised with pets, which means your parents probably aren't going to be raised with pet, you know, until God puts somebody breaks in somebody's heart like you. Yeah. And, you know, and we just have to, you know, it's just color. One of my favorite photos that I like to put up on Facebook every now and again is when my son went to Haiti on a mission trip, and he was like 10 or 11, and somebody pulled out a ball and threw it. And so it's my whiter than white. I mean, this boy is white. Okay. This boy is Casper the Ghost.
Yeah. He's pretty
with
white.
Like 10 little black boys that are dark. And it's so funny. But I said, you know, they don't speak the same language. Cameron didn't speak Haitian other than a couple words. And, you know, they're white and black, but a ball came out. Let's play, right?
Yeah.
They're just kids at that point. They're not black. They're not white. They're just a group of kids.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's how it is with animals. I've, with my nonprofit, with Paws of Hope, I created Paws of Hope in 2017, alongside of my husband, because there was such a need for help, people who really couldn't afford it. That was for everybody, young, old. You know, that was pre-COVID. You know, that was people who just lost their jobs, you know, people who just wasn't educated well. That was for everybody, because our ball was the animal. And I always say that some people, you know, if they're introverts or if they are just not really people, and they won't talk to me. But if I say something or ask them a question about their dog or their cat,
oh yeah,
they will open up like a book.
We have experienced that.
It's like asking me about my grandsons. Oh, how much time you got? Sit down, right? Like, you know.
It's like pull up a chair, and that's my mission. I'm Christian, so I always say that's my ministry. That has become such a ministry to me, because I'm able to help people in the ways they really need to be helped. We have our pet food pantry where we don't ask any questions. We just ask basics: dog, cat, size, and, you know, age. And we supply them with whatever they need. We do pet supplies, leashes, collars, harnesses, whatever the preference is, we supply. I literally keep everything at my salon.
Wow.
So my salon is open 6 days a week. If someone were to DM me, call me at any moment, it's theirs for the taking. And where we host events annually, I do 2 usually. We do free wellness events. So we do free, like, full vaccinations, like everything, not just rabies. We do everything.
Wow.
For dogs and cats. We have health checks by the vet. We usually have a vet on site doing health checks, checking ears, lumps, bumps, answering any questions that they can answer for the pet owner. Because I noticed, like, as a groomer, right? So one of the requirements for the salon is that your pet has to be up to date with their vaccines.
Right.
Right.
And we were running into the issue of my dog isn't vaccinated, or my dog has never been to the vet, or, you know, we groom the dog and it's like, did you notice this lump here? Did you notice this bump or something with the eye? And like the owners were kind of like, what? And it always came back to, I just don't have the money to do it. I don't know what to do.
Right.
So we started it, and, you know, it grows every year. because especially now post-COVID, people are still suffering. People are still.
I know, it's true.
It is, because if you think about it, for all of the lives that were lost, the world has never seen anything like that. For all of the lives that were lost, and I've lost a lot of customers where they went from being a 2-adult working family home to just one. And I actually have one client in particular. She lost her mother, then her grandmother died the same week. Those were, she didn't have her father in her life. So she lost both, so, and then it was like
Linda lost her son-in-law. So she's,
I'm not crying. I'm fine.
yeah, it's hard. It's really difficult because people now they're like, okay, how do I regain my life? What do I do? How can I take care of my pet? And I do not want to see anybody have to surrender their animal because life has gotten so hard. I literally, that customer in particular, because we love Miss Juanita, we loved her grandmother. I groomed that dog for free. I said, just come to the shop. We will take care
bless you.
We do what we can. And I love what I do with such a passion. And anybody
I can tell
you that it doesn't.
You exude it. You can see it in you. Yes.
You've got the leadership and the
Thank
passion.
you.
And no matter what color someone is, they need someone like you to look up to know that they can create something.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where it was like I couldn't find a table to serve, so I had to create my own table so that I can serve it, because I serve the same community that I grew up in. It's a community in Orlando called Pine Hills, and it's not the best of places. It's not the worst of places, but there is a lot of good, and there's a lot of good that can still be done in the community. And I literally see the good that is done because animals are overlooked.
That's a true story.
The dogs are chained in the backyard, or the dogs aren't getting the proper nutrition, or the kids that we go to the schools and we teach about responsible pet ownership. We talk about dog fighting. We talk about caring for your pets. One of my own personal dogs, he passed away last year. I rescued him from a client because her son was just bopping him. He was hitting him. And he was this big old pit bull. He's the sweetest dog. And she kept saying, I want to take him back to the pound if you don't stop hitting him. And I said, no, you're not. You're going to give him to me.
Yeah, because the pound, those are the first dogs to go.
I love what Paws of Hope is doing because, people are finding themselves in these situations. For example, when my son-in-law passed, he was the main breadwinner. My daughter moved back home. He died on her 32nd birthday because, that's fun. But so all of a sudden, they had 4 cats. Now,
and Linda had 7 already.
He was really ugly for a minute there, honey. I can't even tell you.
And a dog.
We made it. Yes. And my little Chihuahua, she's confused. She doesn't know she's a dog. She's living with 11 cats. She has no idea she's a dog. She's a very confused animal. But I didn't want to. But, what do people who don't have a mom that can take them in, that maybe doesn't have the room or the resources?
Yeah.
What do they do? I've got 4 cats I've got to feed and get vet care. And look at what Paws of Hope is doing. Not to mention your fabulous grooming. If you watch her live on her Facebook page, this dog with the standard poodle with the purple on the top and the purple paws, and then they're showing the nail polish, and I'm like, I want to come. I want pink hair, and I want you to do my nails.
I want to see you groom a cat.
We do some fun stuff with cats. We have the soft claws, that all the fun, funky colors.
Right.
We do the lion, the sunflowers, we do all of the different.
The little lion cut with the poofy tail. I love that.
Yeah, we do it all. And we do color as well. It's all natural. It's safe. It's vegan. We do a lot of fun stuff because in my salon, I believe that our animals, just like our children, they are a reflection of us.
Sure.
They, from their names to the way that they look, they are a reflection of you. And even for me, I have Dalmatians because I'm odd. I've always been the black sheep.
Hey, like Richard, Dalmatian.
Yeah. We worked for Richard Simmons, both of us. That's how we met. And Richard had, how many Dalmatians did he have at his peak?
6.
7, 6.
When we were pet sitting for him, he only had 2 left.
Yeah. So those are some high energy dogs, honey. Good luck with that. But that's not my alley.
I got lucky. I got some really good ones. And it's so funny because Dalmatians early in my career was probably the number one on my list that I would never own. And now here I've ran my whole business around Dalmatians.
You know what happens when you say never? God takes that as a challenge.
Yes. God says
he does.
Wait a minute, honey. We'll get back to you. Oh, wait, what do you think? Green stripe? No.
And when you were
We'll
talking
talk
about
later.
veterinarians and vet care, Lashonda, cat owners have the hardest time getting their cats to the vet, mostly because they have a hard time getting them in the carrier. But a lot of people don't think cats need veterinary care, and they do.
They really do. They do. And making one thing that I feel strongly about, and I know it just depends, but I feel like this, especially they have it for people, like there should be some kind of Affordable Care Act for animals.
I agree. Well, that's one of the things we want to
Agreed.
do with our
There
501c3
should be
is
some
help
kind
people who can't afford
Affordable
it.
Care Act, and through donations and just generous people who believe what we're doing.
Yep.
Any donation that we get, I try to make sure that we have funds reserved for those, because the one tricky thing about cats is that they hide because they're predator and prey, so that you really don't know until it's too late, because they hid their symptoms so well.
Exactly.
Sight out of mind, that whole cat kitty behavior. So that, I always try to encourage people. We have a senior community that we take care of, and it's a lot of cats there.
I bet.
And we go into the apartments and we get the cats, because one, they're older, so they can't crawl under something or they can't reach. And
True.
so we have to go in and we bring the doctor to them. That's the second part of my wellness. And we do that partner with the Salvation Army in my area. They have two communities, the Catherine Booth and the William Booth Towers, where it's for low to no income seniors. We bring the vet.
I love that.
We go right downstairs in their lobby. We have a team of volunteers. We go to apartment to apartment and we bring the cats out, because we know the owners can't catch them. And we make sure that they see a doctor at least once a year, at least. Mm-hmm. Because people think, oh, they're in the house, they're not exposed, they're not going to have fleas, they're not going to, but they have urine, UTIs.
And cancer. I mean, I've had 2 cats die of cancer in the last year.
Teeth as they age. We were just talking about arthritis. You start watching for it at age 7, and it's estimated that like 90-some%. I don't remember. Over 90% of cats over age 10 have arthritis. So they're in pain, and you don't know.
And then diabetes and thyroid issues as cats get to be 14, 15, 16. That's very prevalent.
Yeah. And diabetes, I imagine I'm 80. I'm living off Social Security. I've got my 20-year-old cat. It's diabetic. $150 for vial insulin. What do I do?
Vial.
What do I do? Do I let my cat go? What do you do?
And some people do make that choice because they just can't afford it. And it shouldn't get down to that.
We've seen it. Yes.
I really hope to open up Paws of Hope to where we can reach people across the nation. One of my desires is that, like when you see online and you just send a donation, it's like, oh, Stacy's cat, grandma's cat got stuck in a tree and broke her arm. I want to have it to where we can send money directly to the vet, to where
I love that.
Yes.
And we can really, be a hub, because we know, unfortunately there isn't a necessary Affordable Pet Care Act.
Right. We need it though. You were right.
I can see you marching on Washington already.
I can too. We'll come join you.
I mean, I believe it's why not for your animal?
It's true.
It's important. Yes. It's essential. Yes. People first. I always say people first. Take care of the men, women, and children. Take care of the people first. Absolutely. But animals are a family too.
Yes, they are.
Exactly. And if my family member is hurting or I'm facing, can I keep them or not? This is going to cause me stress and anxiety. It's going to lead to my own health issues. So
I know some, especially the seniors that we help, they will not eat and they will give their food to their pet because that's what's keeping them going.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
I literally gave one of my dogs to one of my clients because her Chihuahua had passed away. And I just couldn't. She came into my salon and she was like white as a ghost. And she said, Lashonda, Princess died. And I said, oh my God, here, just take my dog.
Aww. That is the nicest gift you could give someone, though. That's heart gift.
Well, a lot of seniors, if they don't have a pet at home, they have no one, nothing.
They have their children won't call or talk to them. Like their animals are there. And even now with this new generation, humanizing your pet, cats and dogs alike, like they're being humanized. So they're wearing clothes, they're eating the fresh cooked meals. And
millennials spend the most money on their pets.
Yeah, they are our little babies, literally, because, the younger generation, some of them, They want to be hip to the groove.
That's it. Yes.
They don't want to have kids. They don't want to have kids. They would rather have a pet.
I didn't have kids, and so that's I have cats.
Yep. All of your children have
I never met Mr. Right, so
yeah. And and I always say there's nothing wrong with it, but we need to tailor our giving and our representation to those people too, to that demographic as well, and not just the white picket fence, no offense, white family. We need to see the the single ladies that but they're fabulous single ladies.
Yes. Yes.
What I hate is sometimes when they go into assisted living, the people are forced to give up their pets. So we need to make sure more of those places will accommodate their cats and dogs so they can keep them with them.
How do our listeners, is there a way they can donate to Paws of Hope to help you keep this going?
Yes. Well, if you go to GoFundMe and you type in Paws of Hope Florida, you will see for Paws of Hope, type in Black Pet Business Network. That is available too. There is an open GoFundMe where we are working hard and fundraising constantly. You can find us on social media. You can do Paws of Hope Florida. There's a ton of Paws of Hope, but make sure you put Florida.
Florida. Okay. All right.
Paws of Hope Florida. And then there's also the Black Pet Business Network on Instagram as well.
I love that.
Or if you want to follow along and see all the fun, cool things that we're doing at my salon, we are _Paw Shop.
All right.
And we'll make sure we put all those links in on both Pet Life Radio and on YouTube when we release the video of this. I hate that we have to wrap this up.
I know.
We could probably talk for another hour.
Oh, without a doubt. But, I really want to challenge everybody who's listening. This racial divide has gone on long enough. Yeah. It's melanin. It's not personality. It's melanin. For
I'm hoping as the younger generations come up that there's less and less of a divide. Because people are people. They're just people. We're all the same.
I am no less or more worthy than Rita because she's blonde and I'm brunette. Although both of us, it's down to hair color.
Wait a minute. Oh,
you think you're more worthy? Don't start.
Supreme.
No, girlfriend.
Especially when they have curly hair.
God created us all
I can't tell you how
Don't
many people wanted me to straighten my hair. I'm like, I like my hair curly.
It's good. But that's just it. Visit those businesses. Reach out and seek out those businesses because if you're like Rita and I, where we accept everyone and love everyone, but we're incredibly naive, we didn't realize that people are struggling out there and there's nothing, look up, just search for Black-owned business and see what you can find if it's something.
You know how many pets are out there? There's plenty of room for other businesses, even in the same city, because
oh yeah,
Lashonda, you can't groom every single dog and cat that's in Orlando.
I'm actually we're gonna have some shirts made, but one of my strongest slogans is community over competition.
I love that.
Community, and it's about the people and the animals in the community. And I always say people because I'm not one of those people where they say, oh, I don't like people. I love people. I have a passion for people first and for pets. So I literally melted and gelled the two together, and it's the best thing in the world. So community over competition. There's enough to help and there's enough make profit off of.
Exactly.
That's how we always felt in pet sitting, and we feel that way with cat behavior. We help new behaviorists try to get their own feet. Under
come
them,
on. And we've had them on our podcast and, it's not competition. We can't help all the cats.
Right. And there's different strokes for different folks, some
right.
might gel with someone else, even better than you. And it's not even a matter of feeling like, oh, well, if you don't like me, something's wrong with you. But it's just like a relationship. We all may not like the same kind of guy. Some people just like, or girl or whatever.
Yeah. Whatever. Exactly. Yeah.
But it's someone for everyone. And that comes down to finding a good trainer. That comes down to consulting with a good behaviorist, a good veterinarian. I know some fantastic doctors, and I met someone, they're like, I didn't really like them. I'm like, you didn't really like them, but you have to be open. Like, not everybody's going to like me. And just because they don't, it's not even a racial thing. It's just, there's someone for everyone. But I always say, be open to people who do not look like you, that people who do not represent the same as you. Be open because they've had their series of thoughts and struggles, and that we all have to, kind of bring ourselves up to this new way, this better way of living, and really living in such a more harmonized space when it comes to animal care, pet care, how within the pet industry.
I agree with that 100%. I hate that we have to wrap it up, but Lashonda and Paws of Hope, make sure that you go and visit that organization and donate. Help someone out who's a little less fortunate than you by donating to Paws of Hope. Linda, as always, it's a pleasure co-hosting with you, my BFF, my sister from another mother.
Yes.
And of course, I have to thank Mark Winter, who created Pet Life Radio and who gave us this spot.
Yes.
I'm so appreciative. And until next time, remember, every day is Catter Day. We'll see you next time.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.